Hello people of the internet, long time no see. With my new schedule, it does feel like it's been a very long time, but I'm finding it a lot more manageable, so I'm enjoying the process a little bit more again, which I think I'm starting to miss, so that's good. So today's video, I have very much been enjoying doing my Disney film characters sorted into Hogwarts houses. So today I thought I would start a new idea, which is giving them Patronuses. So I have selected 10 of my favourite characters, or just characters that I felt like sorting. And using the official list of Pottermore Patronuses, I have tried to assign them a relevant one that I think fits their personality. So without further ado, let's get started. So first up is one of my absolute favourite characters, and that is Ariel from The Little Mermaid. She's one of my favourite Disney princesses. I think The Little Mermaid was probably one of the first films I had a strong affinity with, so I had to do an Ariel Patronus, and I went with Dolphin. It was very tempting to think like fish because she has flounder as a friend, and I still thought that an underwater animal was appropriate. And then I read the theorised attributes that a dolphin Patronus comes with, and I thought it fitted perfectly. So officially they are: intelligence and sociability are among the main attributes of the dolphin. Also known for their playfulness and loyalty, dolphins live and work together in groups to aid the sick and injured and to defend each other from predators. And I thought that worked incredibly well for Ariel because she's very intelligent, she's very inquisitive, but she's also adventurous and playful, so I thought the dolphin was a perfect one for her. I also really wanted to sort my other favourite Disney princess, and that is Rapunzel, because Tangled is my favourite film. So yeah, I had to do a Rapunzel one, and immediately I thought of the healing attributes and thought Phoenix. And then I was like, yes, Phoenix is definitely on the list of Patronuses. And apart from the healing tears, I also thought it worked, especially the part in the description that talks about being able to accept giving up your own life, especially if it's to save another. And I thought that was actually very true because of how she was willing to sacrifice herself to save Flynn. So yeah, so I thought apart from the healing, I thought that was actually a very big part of her character. I was thinking, I was like, what about her adventurousness and her intelligence and her loyalty and other things like that? But no, I thought actually her healing and her ability to sacrifice for others was actually a bigger part of her personality, and I think would feed more into her Patronus. Next up, I had to select a Patronus for my favourite Disney villain, and that is Hades. And I was like, I know his traits, but I was like, how do I select a good Patronus? And then I thought, he has flaming hair, what about a dragon? And then I read the description for the dragon Patronus and thought actually that fits him pretty well. So it goes like this. So dragons are ambitious and dominant. With the ability to breathe fire, they quickly assert themselves, garnering both fear and respect from those around them. They are unafraid to take risks and prefer to live by their own set of rules. They are quick to lead and do not back down from a challenge. Dragons are strong in their convictions and will stand for what they believe is right. Those with the dragon for Patronus are sure to be fierce fighters. And I thought actually that is Hades. He's incredibly ambitious. He very much thinks that his view of the world is correct. Yeah, and I just thought that's Hades. He won't back down from the challenge until he is thoroughly defeated. So I thought a dragon would be a perfect Patronus for him. Dory is one of my favourite characters. I think she is such a loving and sweet character. But I wasn't entirely sure what kind of Patronus that I would give her. I was like, when it's an animal, you can't go too literal down that route. So I thought, what was her main traits? And I thought it was her caringness and her loyalty. And the one that I've ended up picking is the doe. So the doe is fiercely protective of its loved ones, as displayed through its caring and nurturing nature. The doe is also representative of gentleness yet strong determination, with its high level of intuition and sensitivity. And actually I thought that was incredibly true of Dory, because although she's very forgetful, she is incredibly intuitive, she is very caring, and she is super loyal. Another one of my absolute favourite characters is Thumper from Bambi. I think he is a super sweet, funny, mischievous little character. And it took me a little while to decide on his because I wasn't sure if it was quite right, but I couldn't find another one that I thought suited him better. So in the end, I have picked the Capuchin monkey. The capuchin monkey is described as being bubbly and energetic, but that it likes its creature comforts. And I wasn't totally sure if that was true of Thumper, but then I remembered his line about eating greens and not really liking them and wanting to eat the nicer food, and I was like, yeah, that mischievous nature, I think a capuchin monkey is a very good Patronus for him. The Lion King is one of my favourite Disney films, so I wanted to try and pick a Patronus for Simba. It's an interesting one because you could go incredibly literal with Simba and pick something like a tiger or a lion, because the traits of those Patronuses do match Simba, but I decided I didn't want to do that. I wanted to find something different, so in the end I actually thought a Thestral might work. They're to do with people who have witnessed death, and I think that's a significant turning point for Simba, is the death of Mufasa, so I thought that was actually quite a key bit. And then there's also the fact that Thestrals are incredibly fierce and protective of their loved ones, and I thought that is actually true of Simba because that is ultimately what brings him back to the Pride Lands. So I thought a Thestral would be a good Patronus. To keep some variety, I wanted to select a Patronus for one of my favourite Disney villain sidekicks, and that is Iago from Aladdin. Again, I didn't want to go too literal, so I didn't want to pick a bird as his Patronus, but I ended up finding, I think, probably his perfect Patronus in the crow. So here's the description. So it's the crow is very resourceful and ambitious and cunning. Once they set a goal, they always seem to get what they're after. Crows are also fearless. Regardless of what sort of creature they find in the way of their goal, they will do anything they can to overpower it. They're also very smart and have been observed using tools to achieve their means. And I think that kind of worked for Iago because he's very intelligent and resourceful, a little bit cunning, and yeah, trying to go after what he wants all the time. And I think ultimately he does get what he wants. I probably didn't realise that was what he wanted at the start, but he does get what he wants. So yeah, so crow I think actually fitted him, even though I was trying to not pick an animal that was similar to him, but hey ho. This next one was a bit of a challenge, and I started to wonder why I picked him as a character when I started to try and select a Patronus for him, but I decided to persevere, and it was Hey Hey. Again, I kind of broke my rule about not picking a sort of similar animal for an animal character, but in the end I went with the little owl, and it was the one I think most fitted, but it was quite tough, hey hey. So I went with this one because it said that although they don't mind occasionally rubbing feathers with strangers, they largely prefer marching to the beat of their own drum. And I think it was that sentence that kind of sold it to me, because I think that just epitomises the fact that Hey Hey is just very different and not afraid to be different, I think. I did think ultimately he was sort of loyal and caring, but I didn't think that was such an overarching trait to pick a Patronus that had that quality. So in the end I thought the little owl would be, yeah, a little bit different, and I suppose a little bit hey hey, I guess. Next up is yeah, one of my favourite characters from the Aristocats, and that is Toluse. Yeah, he's a very sweet little character. Mostly when I think of Toluse I think of his need to nap and to sleep and to not enjoy being disturbed from his nap. But obviously there weren't any Patronuses that had that as their main trait, so I kind of went with his fierceness when he wants to protect, and yeah, I just thought that was quite an endearing quality about Toluse. So I selected the badger as his Patronus, and it's because of this line that says this creature's stubbornness and instinct to protect make it a formidable enemy for Dementors, and I think that kind of suited Toluse because he's quite fierce and protective of his family, and he wants to be a bigger, fiercer creature than he is. So I thought I couldn't go with one of the other protective ones that were actually big creatures, but I thought the badger was maybe an appropriate size for him, and I thought that fitted. And lastly, I wanted to pick a Patronus for Wally because I think he is a fabulous character. I was trying to decide what his overarching traits were, and it's the fact that obviously he really loves Eve and he's quite caring and he wants to do like the right thing. But when I was going through all the different ones, the one that actually stood out for me was the Erumpent, which is the character from Fantastic Beasts, and I think it's the fact that obviously he goes a little bit love crazy when Eve won't respond to him when she shuts down because she's found the plant, and that kind of sparked with this part of the description, which is these creatures are normally quite calm until provoked or during mating season, when it will use its horn to pierce anything it deems a threat. Some wizards say that this special Patronus can use its horn to inject the Dementor with happy thoughts, making the Dementor itself explode in a burst of light. And yeah, it was just something about that just spoke to me about the scene where Wally goes a little bit love crazy, so I went with that one in the end. I think there were other ones that I could have picked, but I just liked that one. And so that is it. That is 10 Disney characters that I have chosen Patronuses for. I quite enjoyed the process of this one, so I think I would use this again for other characters. But let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Let me know if you would have picked a different Patronus for any of the characters, as I'd love to hear it. And let me know any suggestions of characters you want me to do in a future video. I'll pop some links here to some other videos that you might enjoy because you checked out this one. If you haven't already, do hit subscribe and hit that thumbs up button if you liked this video. And I will see you in my next one. See ya!